I've been struggling to find a good microphone position, but you know what? This works. Hey there, welcome to my Q&A video. Consider this my 2K special since this video is unique. It's not like a tutorial or anything of the sort, not a stream. Anyways, here's my Discord in case you've been looking for it. I don't know, people keep asking for it. Yeah, it's there. I'll be leaving the major themes of the questions in the description. So if you don't want to hear about me, or if you want to just jump straight to development questions, go ahead. But let's begin. Why do you want to do a Q&A? I thought it sounded fun. I mean, you learn more about me, I guess, and what I want to do, and maybe get some advice out of me as well. I don't know. It also gets rid of recurring questions. I think that's a kind of a nice thing. It's also kind of irrelevant to bring up, but I think I can be more myself rather than the guy who teaches and just has to be upright and I don't have to be very correct and whatever the word is for proper. I can just kind of flow with this and show who I am kind of actually. I mean, that's what streams are for, but I don't know. You get the picture. How old are you? I am 16. It seems, I don't know, it's nothing special really. I'm just a 16-year-old doing his thing. I guess adding on to that last question, when is your birthday? It's on August 31st. This question, I am Asian and I do like rice. Yeah. Alright, that's all. Do you watch anime? I don't watch anything else but anime. I mean, I get recommended shows, movies, and all that, and I can't watch movies. I've always been a very anime guy, and that's about it really. I'm watching a Gintama right now, but I've seen a crap ton of anime. What has convinced you to start scripting on Roblox? It's just easy. It's super easy. I mean, you got all these engines like Game Engine and Unity, Unreal. It's just not as easy. That shouldn't be a reason that I don't do it. I don't know if I want to be a game developer when I grow up. I'm just having fun with it. So right now, Roblox is kind of the way to go because I just get to do whatever. How long did it take you to learn how to dev, including building and all that stuff? For building and GFX, it was really just a feeling. I learned all the tools in 15 minutes, and then it was just constant practice after that. As for scripting, I've been doing it for a really long time, maybe 7 years, 6 years, maybe 5. I don't know. I wasn't scripting entirely for all those years. I definitely took year breaks every now and then, but the amount of progress I made is definitely throughout all those years. It's taken a long time, but that's because I didn't really push learning how to do it. I think if anyone was trying to learn it as fast as possible, I think the fastest you could probably learn it is in maybe a few months. Why did you choose Maple as your unit as? Why did you choose Maple as your name? So all my usernames have actually been just a combination of all my favorite things, and I really like Super Mario Galaxy. I have very fond memories of that game, and I also have very fond memories of Maple Story. Not for the game itself, but the community of it. I met a lot of friends in that fucking game, but I don't have any contact with them anymore. But it's Maple Story and Super Mario Galaxy. That's how you have this name. As for the E not being there, I don't know. People always pronounce it as Maple, so I was like, you know what? I guess it is Maple now. So I just took the E out of it. Also because my username was taken a bunch of times, I was like, might as well get rid of the E because it's unique. What was your very first account? My very first account was made in 2011, and it was actually named it was supposed to be Ninja, but I put a G instead of a J, but it came out as Ninga, and then it was 280, but I messed up and I forgot the password, so it became 270. Or was it 260? I think it was 260, and then it became 270. Yeah, I forgot the password on day one. But yeah, that was my first account. And then it got stolen because I'm stupid. I guess both of these questions are kind of like the same, but how is it being a small content creator on such a gigantic platform? And how do you feel about being a YouTuber slash Roblox dev? Being a Roblox dev is kind of like I don't feel like I'm doing anything like amazing, but it's very cool to me to be able to just make whatever I'm making and people to kind of enjoy it. That's kind of why I keep working on stuff anyway. And as for the YouTuber part, being a small content creator, especially with Roblox of all things, it's kind of like it's like I feel like I could do something better, but I'm not. I mean, there are all these unique channels out there trying to just be unique and make it like something that only they have. But I feel like that's not what you should aim for. I believe that it should just be your personality and your content as a whole. Like, because eventually something will shine out that's like unique to your channel alone. Um, so all these, I don't know, you don't have to be unique to get anywhere. But uh, even with that, doing that with Roblox, that's kind of hard, especially Roblox tutorials. Like, goddamn, I'm amazed Alvin Blocks actually hit like the amount of subscribers he has, and like even the Dev King. It's like I never imagined that many people looking for like coding stuff, which is why I want to branch out eventually and move beyond just coding. But it's kind of cool. I mean, people tune in to see my stuff, and I find it neat, especially on a gigantic platform where there are all these other better options, but then people settle for my channel. it's, it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just like it's kind of cool. And this actually kind of plays along with what I just said earlier. But will you ever do a gameplay video or just tutorials? I want to do more than just tutorials. I definitely do. I've played a lot of games already, so I played them like in and out. I don't have that many games to play right now. Um, I mean, I'll get new games that I think are fun, and I'll probably record it. But I don't want to like if it's like really good, I probably won't want to record it because I'm the type to savor the experience, be like, and just enjoy it. I definitely don't want YouTube to just get in the way and be like, oh, you have to record it now because it'll help the channel. I just kind of want to have fun. But yeah, I plan on branching out. Most gameplay videos would probably be like party games, but I would have to get my friends' like input on it because I don't want to just be like, oh, I'm recording and you guys are in it. That's definitely not cool. Um, but gameplay videos, I guess like the best example I have right now was the Great Llama Expedition.
Why are there two of them in it? There's two of them in the goddamn boat, Julio.
So
There's a bridge and they decided to go. Oh my god. These are the stupidest animals to ever exist.
I literally just whipped out the recorder and said, hey, I'm recording. They're just like, okay. I mean, we still had fun. It's just like, I feel like I just brought that pressure out of nowhere. So I definitely have to plan better for the future if I keep doing that. How did you learn how to script? I started off with free models and I kind of branched out off of that. So I started with just looking up what I needed, and then if the code didn't meet what I wanted, I would start editing it and making it like I would change small things. Of course, I didn't really understand what I was doing, but I kind of understood that, oh, this is a variable and this is a function. So if I do this, this happens, and I kind of built off of that. I eventually learned all the basic like structures and everything after doing that for a while, which it took a really long time, but I wasn't in any rush to learn anything. I was in like elementary school at the time. Um, I eventually started looking at the wiki, which is developer.roblox.com, and yeah, it kind of advanced from there. I started learning off of that using the API reference, and yep, I'm here now. What slash who inspired you to script? It was never really a person that inspired me to code. It was always like the games, and I guess that means the games that they made inspired me, so I guess they inspired me as well. But um, fighting games mostly inspired me, and just things that were like very fun. If it seemed fun, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I want to do that. So like all those like survive the disaster games and like RPG games like Legacy and what's the other one, like Lords of Nomriel, or I don't know, the Range Escape, and those fighting games like Online Fighting, Arcane Adventures, and whatnot. And then there were just those fun games like Pool Tycoon. I don't know. It was just fun. I had fun. That, anything that I had fun with was like a big inspiration. Do you create your games solo or in groups? Because of my personality, I cannot work in a group, but it would be very helpful. I work on games solo for the entirety, and I've made about it's well over 40 games at this point. I've tried making 40 games, and all of them have been a failure, just because motivation and whatnot, and just not having fun with it, and then like playing the game myself, and it just wasn't fun. So what I really don't know. But the game I'm working on right now, Xenolink, I think I'm gonna really enjoy this, but I have to get through all these main parts. But yep, solo. What's the biggest challenge of making scripting tutorials? Not like spoon feeding or like breastfeeding. Like don't just feed the information. Like that's not what I want to do at all. I want to make sure that people can kind of like already kind of know what they're doing. Um, if they know the basics, then doing the tutorial should be no problem. But then again, it's just like that doesn't work, and that's another big problem as well. It's just some people skip ahead and they don't try to learn anything easier, so they kind of expect like, oh, why didn't you explain this? I don't know how to do this because you didn't learn it, you idiot. It's like I don't know. It's really it's rough. I don't want to just overdo anything. I don't want to. I just want to teach things that are like essential and then be done with it. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. So I guess the biggest challenge is just kind of making sure I'm teaching the right stuff and clearly, and making sure I'm not just like feeding away information. That's not at all what I want to do. Do you have a problem with Roblox exploiters? Yes and no. I mean, at the end of the day, there isn't really anything you can do about it. I mean, you can set up precautions and all that, but I don't know how. They always find a way through it. I mean, of course, games that are like tight on lockdown, then no, they're probably never gonna get through. But I mean, small stuff like teleportation and flying, of course, you can't combat that. Um, as for like, I find it real shitty that people have to check for like all these things because exploiters would just be like, "Oh, I want the game to be easy. I don't have to work." It's just like they made this whole game, and you're over here just gonna cheat through the whole thing and just disregard their work. And that I don't know, that kind of pissed me off a bit. That's all I really have to say about it. Will you ever create a large scale game like World of Magic? No, not really. No. I mean, the project I'm working on right now with a friend, probably. But me, myself, no. Just flat out no. It's cool and all, but maybe if I somehow became very stable and just didn't have to worry about anything. But of course, that's not going to happen. So, the big answer is no. What will you do when you get 10,000 subs? I think a face reveal is fair. That sound fair? I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, that's fair. But of course, it's fair because we'll never hit that number, so you'll never see it. Is there a way to understand Lua a lot easier? When you look at tutorials, you don't truly understand what they are saying. I can memorize things easily, but I struggle making my own unique code as I don't fully understand Lua. Do you have a way around this problem? No, I don't. I mean, the biggest thing you could probably do is like learn all of the basics and like the basic structures and everything, because like just like in a language, if you learn all like the particles, the starting things, the ending things, you could probably like learn how to like mash other words in there, which we could assume are like functions in code. That's the most advice I can really give for that. Just basics. Learn those basics. How did you fill in that knowledge gaps that you didn't learn in tutorials, like those uncommonly used services and stuff? Um, I just used the wiki API really. I just kind of, or you'd use like scripting helpers or dev forums. I don't know. You can just look it up and see if anyone has anything for it. If not, I usually dug through the API to see if it had anything that I needed. And then if I had something I needed, I was like, okay, time to study because the wiki pages always have like all the information just flat out written. It's just like, oh, that's pretty cool actually, and it even gives like examples. So yeah, just give the API a shot. And if you can't find any tutorials on it, then yeah, I'd give the API a shot. It should be your last resort. Not really coding. But why do some games ask for Robux or money from crowdfunding or investors to develop their games? I mean, have you seen those like? Have you seen like Shark Tank and Kickstarter? Think about it like that. Those people go up there because they don't have the funds necessary themselves to do things like maybe for Roblox, I'd assume it's to like hire people or to like create certain assets like audio and whatnot or like clothing. I don't know. I think that's paid, or at least it used to be. Um, but that's all. That's all it really could be: advertising, assets, hiring. Um, and that's because they can't cover it themselves, so they require other people to help them reach that goal, so they can have the amount to do what they want. It's a good way to progress in their projects. Yeah, that's about it. How do you stay motivated to finish or start projects? Alright, so, complete disclaimer here. I'm probably the last person you should ask about motivation and continuing projects, because I have not finished a single one. I finished like two. Um, really, motivation is just, it's rough. Everyone has that problem. To start it, it's pretty easy. You could probably just have an idea. It all starts with an idea, really. And then that's just like a sudden burst, like, I have to do this. And then finishing the project, that's when it becomes very rough. And that's because, like, you're doing all these things that you didn't want to do, but, you have to kind of do it to get to the good part. And that's really the bottom line. It's just, it's, it's the end result. You want that's what you're aiming for, the end result. And that's how you kind of push through. Motivation does not mean that it's not going to suck. Of course, it's gonna suck for a lot of the time, but those end results are probably like it'll be worth it. Just think about that. What were the hardest things that you came across when learning scripting? String functions and string patterns. Those suck. I still have problems with them. I have to like look it up each time I'm prepared to use them. I'm not gonna summarize what they do, but like they're it's string related stuff. You could use it in a lot of things. Personally, I use it during like dialogue or just like cool text effects. But you could use it in like a typewriter effect. There's a lot of uses for it. But yeah, string patterns and string functions, they, they're hard. What types of games should you make when you're learning how to script? That's kind of I don't like that question, but it's I mean, it's really whatever you want to do. Like, I mean, I even if you want, you could like start your passion project right away and just learn like across the way. But if you really don't know, personally, I started out with RPGs, tycoons, and just, like minigame stuff. I guess minigame stuff like survive disasters and whatnot would probably be a good way to start. But you can do whatever. I mean, hell, man, go for a simulator. I mean, there's a lot of those, but it's good practice. Anyways, those are all the questions I want to answer. I'll post these questions up here because I saw them. I definitely did. I, I didn't want to answer them. But yep, that's really it. I'll probably do another one of these, another 2,000 subs away. Who knows? But yep, that's about it. So I'll have some new videos soon. But yep, see ya.